My name is Nikki Bradley. I'm an adaptive adventurer from Donegal. I got into exercise about 8 years ago, and I did so with my health, my physical health in mind. I've had quite a few hip replacements and a lot of damage caused by radiotherapy. I was in a lot of pain for a very long time, and in 2013 I decided to take matters into my own hands and turn to exercise to see if it would have a positive impact, and thankfully it did. So there's a couple of benefits. One, it makes a physical difference to my body. It reduces pain. I was on a significant amount of pain medication before I looked at exercise as a solution. Thankfully, that has been greatly reduced over the years directly due to exercise. But one of the biggest, most positive side effects that I wasn't expecting was the effect it had on my head, or in my head. It changed my outlook. It made me much more positive and less of a wimp when it came to going out into the great outdoors. I soon realised that by having the right gear on me, it didn't matter if it was raining or if it was snowing, that I could still get out and achieve what I wanted to achieve. Alongside doing some exercise, I'd set up a campaign called Fighting Fit for Ewings to raise awareness for the cancer that I had, which was Ewing sarcoma. And I wanted to build kind of a little bit of a community of people that were up for doing physical challenges, and I very much felt that if I was going to encourage other people to do it, I had to do it myself as well. So very early into the gym training, we decided that we would go outdoors as well and do some challenges, and the very first one of those was a hike up Muckish Mountain in Donegal. We picked the worst month of the year and the worst day of the year. We picked October, the end of October, and we couldn't have picked a worse day weather-wise. It was raining sideways. If there was driving wind and rain, we had to use whistles to be able to determine how close we were to each other because the mist was so dense that we couldn't actually see each other. And a hike that I've done so many times since would usually take maybe 2 hours max. Took us over 6 hours that day. It was the first time I'd walked for that amount of time on my crutches, and back then I just had standard hospital crutches, and to say that my shoulders and my hands were sore afterwards is an understatement. I was in bits, but I was elated. The feeling that I had going to bed that night was, I'll never forget it, and that was the start of adventuring for me. I think the biggest barrier for every one of us, myself included, is actually taking that first step, and it's something that we've heard a million times. If there's enough doubt in your head, you will make excuses not to do it. So how I got past that was by setting a little challenge for myself in January, before 10 AM every day, and even if I just walked to the end of the garden and back again, the goal was to actually put the gear on and leave the house. It wasn't about distance, it was just about doing it, and that was all that I needed to break that little kind of, that rut I got into. So I would say that would be the biggest thing, is that first step. People have various disabilities, and straight away that can be seen as a barrier. If you're a wheelchair user, if you you're hard of hearing, you can, if you're in a busy built-up area, going for a walk by yourself, if you can't hear, can be terrifying, because you don't know if there's somebody coming up behind you, and that can be enough to put you off actually doing it. What I would say is, rather than assuming you can't, find somebody, even if it's on social media, do a little bit of research, find somebody that's doing something in the area that you're interested in, and simply follow their journey and get inspiration from them. That's exactly what I did, and it worked really well. Take the time to actually think what it is you enjoy, and if you're struggling to actually find something that you do enjoy outside, then before you kind of set anything in stone, give yourself the time to try a couple of things under no pressure. Say to yourself, I'm going to try hiking, I'm going to try cycling, I'm going to try running, or whatever it is, and if you find one of those three that you like, then you can kind of go down further into exploring that one sport and then see where it goes from there. But do a little bit of research and then make your decisions then. If exercise really isn't your thing, don't assume that you have to go hell for leather. You can do very gentle forms of exercise and still be working numerous muscles. There's new classes coming online all the time. You can do yoga, you can do lots of things that are very gentle, but it has to come from you. If you feel guilted into doing something, you're always going to have that negative feeling when you approach that form of exercise. You will have that negative connotation with it, and you won't last if that's the way you're thinking about it. But if you have made the decision that from December or from January, for 3 or 4 months, I'm just going to give it my all, then because you yourself have decided, you're much more likely to succeed. So I would say like the theme of the conference is so perfect in that respect, that it has to be a choice, it has to be your choice, and everything we do, as I said, is, you know, we do have that choice to do it.